So the Phoenix Mercury have done it again. And what is it again? They have found some random international player. And by random, I mean this. Like, if you had have had international players on my radar, Nogic would not have been in the top 30. Like, I knew of Astier, I knew of Chikova, Maria Conde playing for the Tempo, who kind of sucked. Even like Kiara Linskins and stuff. I watched little bits of Serbia when they were playing. I've watched little bits of Serbia, but like I've not watched enough to like be like, oh yeah, she was that great player. I'm like, I wasn't even paying attention anytime I've seen Serbia. I've not been paying attention. But like, if you look at the Phoenix Mercury now, so Kiara Linskins, the Brochan, I thought she looked pretty okay today. Like, I don't think she played a preseason game. Like, I'm actually pretty impressed with how she's looked. And I'm going to be honest here. I think they just seem to find these players. But like what Jovana Nogic did, like this was one of the best performances. And I'm not saying this is one of the best performances by a rookie so far. This is obviously the best performance by a rookie. There is no way that like Nogic, like this might be the best performance so far, period. Like, they won the game and it was basically just her. Like, if you're looking, immediately steps in, hits a three, starting at the fucking point, like going left, like that is a pass. And again, I've watched bits of Serbia. She did not stand out to me. I didn't know who she was. I did not know who she was. And like, I watch so much random. Again, I don't watch the Russian league. I watch I watch half the fucking EuroLeague games. I watch random Euro Cup games. I feel like I'm up to date, but like, no. Like, I did not realize that they had this demon. I did not realize that this demon existed. And that you could have signed this demon on the minimum. Like, this demon was available on the minimum, and she's big. She's like a 6'1" guard. And again, nobody thought she was meant to be starting. But when you can sign this demon, like, that's the only way I can describe it. Is this freaking demon that is Jovana Nogic. Like, it's one of the crazy things. Again, and by the way, she had 19 points, 3 assists, 2 steals in the first half. In the first half. It is the best half a player has played this season. Including anything Kelsey Mitchell did, Enrique did, anything. But like, in the first half, she scored or assisted on 20. Like, the Mercury were up 20 at halftime, or 21 at halftime. They were up 56-35. Nogic scored or assisted on 25 points in the first half. Like, almost half. Like, that is impressive. I mean that. That is actually impressive. And I'm watching the Lynx right now play against the Atlanta Dream. And I'm watching the Lynx, who are not meant to be, they lost all these free agents. But suddenly, like, Chikova's currently on the line. Delar has looked really good. Maya Caldwell's checked in. I think when Hamzova comes in, she's going to hold her own. When Juhas comes back, Olakosu is a big defender who can run. I'm like, man, these teams all seem to find players. Like, so Caldwell's just checking the game, but these teams always seem to just find competent players. They always seem to find players that you're like, okay, we get it. I get the hype. I understand where these players are coming from. I understand why these teams are scouting. We have a 31-year-old Shatori Walker-Kimbrough sitting on the end of the bench. There's not one good team, by the way, or good roster, that has a 30-something-year-old sitting on the end of the bench game 1 and playing 0 minutes. Has a washed vet sitting on the end of the bench. The end of the bench players in a lot of these teams are young players, stuff like that. But the Indiana Fever, Shatori Walker-Kimbrough sitting on the end of the bench. Like, for no reason. They brought in Shatori Walker-Kimbrough, who's not very good at basketball, for vibes. And there are much better options to sign. There are much better options. The Indiana Fever front office is terrible. And by the way, good decisions the front office have made. They did a good job bringing in hardship players last year. And I do feel like, in hindsight, it might not have been the best decision, but being able to pry Stephanie White away from the Connecticut Sun is impressive considering her resume. And I think Stephanie White, look, if Caitlin Clark was not on the Fever, Stephanie White would be an unbelievable coach. Like, if Caitlin Clark, if the Fever decide tomorrow and say, look, we're done with this shit, and trade Caitlin Clark, Stephanie White is a fantastic coach. Let's just say, what's the asking price for Caitlin Clark? You're not getting Paige anymore in a trade for Caitlin. The asking price for Caitlin is probably, look, if you are Indiana and you're trying to win now, the asking price, you're probably looking at Chelsea Gray and 2 firsts and 2 seconds. I was trying to think of like an actual trade. I think Indiana would be like, basketball-wise, maybe they make it. We've seen this guy pulling the trigger on the Angel trade. But let's just say that's a hypothetical that's not happening. That's just not happening. So, basically, it's a big if. But like, I still think that Stephanie White is a good hire purely because of just how good a coach she is. I just don't know if she's the right coach for the way Caitlin Clark likes to play basketball. And that's a fair statement to make. I think the fit is still questionable going into year 2. That being said, like, their front office scouting is pathetic. And we are watching teams go out there with European players that, by the way, we're watching teams go out with European players on minimum contracts that are significantly inferior on paper to the Fever, that Mick Talks Hoops was making videos about. Like, I'm sorry. There's no reason why I'd be shocked if the front office knows about some of these players. I watched nearly every Valencia game last year. I watched every single Praha game in EuroLeague last year. I watched Zaragoza play to watch Carla Late. Like, if I'm the Fever front office, I understand it means more to say every game is a home game and flaunt the fact that, you know, your home tickets are actually now the cheapest in the league. But you fill out away arenas, I guess. It's good to flaunt all that. It's good to run a pre-ting victory lap. But like, I'm sorry. If I was Amber Cox or I was Kelly Krauskopf, I literally it's different. You know you can get a 3-month tourist visa for Europe. If you're American, you can get a 3-month tourist visa. I would not be in the United States between October and December. Free agency is at the end of January. I would be not in the United States between October and December. Like, you are flying everywhere. You're watching Czech League games. You're watching every Praha game. You're watching every game of these top teams. Maybe you don't go to Russia, but you're being chauffeured around on these teams. That's what you should be doing. I'd fucking love that. That would literally be my dream job. That would be my dream job, to be able to go and scout all these teams. And realistically, I'm fucking partially doing that, watching everything. Like, there's not as many people. There's no one else that's going to be watching as many European under-20B women's games to watch Aisha Sivka stink it up and barely improve. But yeah. Anyway, that is pretty much it. I'm very disappointed in the front office, but why should I be surprised? Anyway, see you guys.